Hey guys, Dale Walker at Whole Shot Performance. Well, the time's finally come. We're in our cancer treatment stage. My wife Liza just had a thyroid surgery. Luckily my shop's 100 feet from my house and I'm on call right now. That was a couple days ago. It all went well. They took half her thyroid out. She has cancer on the left side. Found some more, other nodules in there they removed, said they got it all. So praise for my Liza. And anyway, so I'm in the shop here for a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a walk around of the chassis assembly. I did get it on wheels. It's certainly not done. It'll take a long time to get this bike running still, because we're up against, I'm up next with my prostate cancer again. Find out about that in a couple weeks. But anyway, I thought I'd make a nice video here, walk around to the chassis. It's turning out really nice. Ratzuki is going to be a nice looking rat. And yeah, I'm going to work on the engine mounts today a little bit and do a little prep work and hopefully get the motor in the chassis in the next couple days. So this video is going to be continued. So let me grab the camera and I'll do a walk around for you, okay? Well, let's start and work from the back forward, shall we? So here is my wheel all assembled. All new hardware, or hardware that I did have re-gold zinc plated. That is a brand new Cosmo sprocket. I'm going to start with the 44. It's a 1544 630 chain. I have 40 through 44 sprockets. This tire is 26 inches tall, unlike the 9-inch Goodyear that I ran, which was 28 when it was in the 9-inch Pro Mod class out here back in the early 90s, mid-90s. This is close to an 18 small slick we used to run with the widened rear Cosman rim, double weld up is what they called it. Gearing should be pretty close. This gearing's a little low. I'm gonna concentrate on 60 foot times an 1/8 mile first before I lean on it. So we'll see how it goes once I get it going. Whole new learning curve, right? And of course Dale's a little rusty after 25 years. So, but the wheel turned out beautiful. This is the original. It's got a little porosity in the rotor. It always had that. Once you get on the brakes one time, a couple times, those would just blend in. All the zinc would be gone right there. But as you can see, the wheel turned out really clean. Yeah, that's the original hub. These are the original parts from 1989. And turned out really nice. Anyway, I want to show you something. Cosman Specialties, you know, I rode for Sandy Cosman for, geez, 10 years. I was like his test pilot. Had my own race bikes at the time, but rode for him, did a lot of testing on, modified chassis, pro stock chassis and funny bike chassis, and then pro street. We would go race the bike, you know, some of his new bikes, maybe 4 or 5 races, then he'd sell the bike and do something different or move the engine in a different spot, blah blah blah, and we'd race that one, then he'd sell that. But that was really cool. Sandy was a really good friend of mine. He's still alive, but he's not doing well and not sure how long he's going to be with us. So, but I wanted to show you something. All of Sandy's parts were just awesome, and the way the axle slides through this thing and the spacers and all that. But get this, these are original bearings. Okay, I'm going to be talking about the bike, but these are the original bearings in this thing, and he was so precise on the inner bearing spacer and the load on the bearings, and these are not ceramic bearings, okay? So you just check this thing out. One thing nice is I got a good run out on this Mickey Thompson. Look at that. And the sprocket. Pretty nice. Look at that thing spin, huh? Isn't that amazing? Anyway, so I got the other stuff all powder coated. I've got I use this sparkly silver, and I've got it all clear coated. Yeah, the carrier for the rear Grameca brake. I've got the rear brake line all made up. Brand new Grameca master cylinder, just like I used to run. This is your brake linkage. It's all done. I actually had these back further, and I always thought they were a little uncomfortable. I redid that, moved them forward about 3/4 of an inch. Got the electronics panel mounted. Again, that's an aluminum plate that's all powder coated with the clear. Let's see if you can see. Oh, bonk. Yeah, hard for me to get in there. But yeah, so it's a Dana 4000 that I used to run. It's got the high and low limit, you know, the launch limit at low, high RPM limit. And then I have a 2-stage ignition retard. Got a relay mounted here. Gonna have a couple more. This is just a power junction block where I can bring power in. Come out with about 6 different wires on this side. Got the nitrous bottle mount all done. I had the bottle in there. It fits perfect. Here's my battery box. These are all the same parts that I built this bike with in 1989. All powder coated. This is your engine breather / catch tank, catch can. These will both come off the engine, one off the starter area that's plugged off, and the other one is off the top of the valve cover on the top of the head. This I poke up and have a little can-in or little filter here just to let it breathe. And then it bolts into the battery box. And I handmade all that with a buddy of mine that used to be my fab master back in California. And then a little petcock would be on here. I'll probably have I'll have a little plug on it. So you can check it between runs in case you get some oil puking, which you better not get much. Okay, then moving on, all the motor mounts are upgraded to 1/2 inch. The case is tapped, and I'm gonna ream the lower motor mount in the case today to get a regular bolt down here. So once you get the motor in here, you slide that in, you can put some blocks on it. It makes it a lot easier when you get it in there than by yourself working on it. Of course, I massaged this. You already seen this earlier for a little more clearance. It was always tight in this chassis to the front of the head. And then moving on to the front end, here is your top triple clamp. All Cosman stuff. These were called Cosman drag forks. He used to buy these from Japan and then shorten them and modify them and machine the legs down, getting all the crap off the legs. Here's your lower tree with the Cosman machine piece. This is just a Daytona mount, but still with the Cosman clamp. How we did it on the frame with the standoff, how it mounts. This is your fairing stay that mounts the fairing. Real clean. These are all the original parts, the little handlebar clamps. These are my original stainless handlebars, drag bars that I love. Again, these are the same powder coat with the sparkly silver. And as you can see, the wheel is still spinning. Isn't that something? That's how a wheel should spin. Yeah, here's your gas tank. It holds a couple quarts, maybe 2.5 quarts. It's just enough. Never had it starve for fuel, but you gotta start it up, make your burnout, and go. So anyway, moving on, here's the Cosman little fork brace that tucks behind the fender. 2 plates that bolt onto the back of the ears here of the forks, legs. These are flush mounted, angled socket head Allens. And then the bolt holes down here is where the fender slides in right here. So I may get the fender on today. They changed the front wheel. It wasn't the right wheel, so I got a hold of RC components about an 18 to fit the little Mickey Thompson 18 drag slick. This is also their brake rotor. This is full floating. Okay, this is the original Grameca front caliper that I had on this bike, and it's in perfect shape. And And then this is the original, look, it's still spinning, rear Gromaka rotor, caliper. And it's amazing, you know, the pads are only like, what, this big? And the front's even smaller. But I never really had a problem stopping this motorcycle. I don't dick around, you know, when I go through the lights, I roll out of it easy, kind of settle the chassis, and then I pretty much kind of use both brakes evenly. But this bike would run, I ran 179 with this thing, and it still stopped with those little brakes. It was pretty amazing. And they never burn up, so I'm going to leave them on there. That's what I built it with. So anyway, I think that's about it on the chassis. Wheels still rolling. Yeah, I'm going to work on the other stuff today. Let me just show you here. I'll grab the nitrous bottle. I have a bunch of 2 and 2.5 pound bottles. I don't want to hit anything. Yeah, so I was right in my mount right there, see? Snug the little knob there. So that's how it is. It's clean. Okay guys, well I'll continue this video as soon as I get the motor in and a few other little things done, and we'll just make this one video. So I'll see you soon. Okay guys, this is a few days later. I got the engine in, obviously. I just got the exhaust on. Had a little problem with the clearance of my lockup clutch. So we had to make a little adapter here to move the collector snout out. Still working on that. That's a Vance & Hines Pro Stock pipe. Really a good pipe as far as power. Pain in the ass as far as fit. This right in here has to roll over number 3. This number 2 is a total pain. And it all is dictated by the rotation of the collector. And I had it all ceramic coated, right, so that makes it all tight, and I sanded it, and I dingleberried inside, and I lubed it, and you know, we finally got it in the position that it needs to be. Got them all on there. And I got the fender installed. Got the brake caliper. I got new brake pads, front and back. These are little Gromakas, and luckily Ferodo still makes them. And so now I'm going to have to deal with a brake line to the Magura master cylinder. Got the fairing, obviously the upper fairing, just bolted that on this morning. Blacked out the inside, all clean, on and off, masking things, then getting silver and taping it again and painting it again. That's how it is. All the little machine widgets now don't look like a battleship anymore because they blend in with silver. It's clean. Rolled the motor around. It's been sitting for quite a few years, but rolled it around, WD-40. I've had it lubed up, but I'm going to do a leak down on it. What I'm going to do is get the carburetors on next and start playing with the throttle. Trying to make the throttle cable route properly. Got the nitrous solenoids, the cheater solenoids. They run the bigger ones. They're all mounted. All the motor mount plates. I gotta still make this motor mount plate. Don't have that one done yet. Gonna be working on that next, but all the motor mount plates are bolted in. Had to massage quite a few, 3 of them. The mock-up motor still varied for this one. The motor mounts are half 13 into the case, except for the bottom one. I went for a through bolt all the way through. There's my battery box, breather tank, and catch can. Nitrous bottle mount. Got the ignition all mounted up. Wheel on. Foot pegs. I'm still messing with the mounting points here. I got a little spacer in the back that I'm playing with. So gonna finish that next. Next it'll be the outer bearing support, engine plate and bearing support. Still got to reassemble that. This is my old school electric shifter that I used to make years ago. I still have some left. And this is a neat one. It triggered off the rotation of the shift drum. And when a little plunger rides on the pin I have for every gear, that's what keeps it running, wired through my relay. And when you shift it, it kills the motor between shifts. It can't run between the gears. So it's an additional kind of like a rev limit feature. And that's what I'm going to run on this. I always had good luck with that one. And starting out with a 4415. And that should be at about 10.8, about 168 miles per hour with this size tire. I have sprockets from 44 to 40. So anyway, that's about it for this part of the assembly. It's looking sano. Ratzuki's looking good. Let me stick the body on it for the first time ever. Let's see how it looks. I'll roll it outside in the sun, and I'll see you in a minute, and then we'll wrap this video up. So guys, I got a bit more stuff done last day. Obviously, I got the 44 electrons installed, fast by gassed. I've got the throttle and throttle cable sorted out. I've got the clutch cable and secondary nitrous button clutch installed. I'm splicing this in. I've got the exhaust all buttoned up with that logo. And I had the bike all together in here. I'm going to roll it outside here in a minute, but a little too much silver on the fairing. I decided to repaint the fairing. I'm going to hopefully get this done this weekend coming up here. I'm going to go ahead and tie in. Well, let me show you. Let me stick the body on it. Let me stick the body on there. Just wanted to show you underneath first. Be right back. Alright, so here we go with the body on the bike. I'll roll it out in the sun here in a minute. So, yeah, I just think there's too much silver going on right there. Looks too much like a billboard. Kind of hard to tell when you're doing this stuff till you bolt the whole thing together. So, what I'm going to do, at least this is the plan today. This may change. But what I think I'll end up doing is, this is a nice paint line I came up with, and then it will just drop down and go away right here. So everything above the line is going to be the red, like the fender, and the red there. Okay, and then if it works out like I plan, this is just on there for me to get an idea. That'll be a 1/4 inch tape line. Below the tape line, I'm going to paint it gloss black, so we got some black going on in the front. The only black's on the tail. That'll give me a splash of black. Doesn't have to be at the angle, but that's a nice, whoops, sorry. I like how that's shaped right there and how it just goes away in the front. So, and then when I pull the tape, this will be a 1/4 inch silver stripe. So it'll be the beautiful burgundy metallic up top, silver stripe, gloss black. And then it's going to wrap over on the tail right here and just be the black. So anyway, that's what I have in mind. So that's that. Let me roll it outside and let you see it in the sun. Okay guys, this is the first time ever we've had the body work on the bike. It's far from being done, but let's take a look. It's out in the sun. Still got a lot to do. All the electronics, a lot more stuff. I still am playing with the pipe, making it fit right.
can't see anything in this screen because I'm in the sun, but it looks beautiful. Looks a lot different than just the body sitting on it now that the engine's in and all this stuff. Yeah, I still got to work on the motor side plate and the outer bearing support, shift linkage, and then down in the area. This is my shift plate that I showed you in the other last video clip. I want to come off here with a little standoff and make a little brace on here so you have a little more support on the shaft. But yeah, I haven't rubbed on it yet at all. I actually put a light coat of my VIP glaze that I saved. Still gonna probably 3000 grit wet sand the whole thing to get the little crap out of it and then buff it, at least the body. So anyway, this wraps this up. I will show you more as I move along with the wiring and more progress, but this wraps this video up, guys. Please share this and give it a thumbs up if you like the bike, and comment below, and maybe hit that bell so you have a notification of something else I'm working on, or this, or maybe the MT-09. Who knows? Alright guys, well, take care, and God bless America. We need to save our country, guys. Later. Ride safe.